What do you now think of Nigel Farage?
Look, I don't dislike Nigel. I think he's running a cult.
You described him as a coward and a viper yesterday.
I think he is. I don't think he's fit to be leader. I don't think he is a leader. I think he's ultimately a very good, what I would call ballroom entertainer. You know, he stands up and he entertains, and he's extremely good at that.
You said in your statement yesterday, for the good of our country, Nigel Farage must never be Prime Minister.
That is my opinion.
For the good of our country?
I think the way he has behaved towards me, if you gave him the power of the British state behind him, he has demonstrated that he is not fit to be wielding that power, and I don't think he should be Prime Minister. That is my opinion. And I'm perfectly entitled to my own opinion, and I'm sorry, but that's my view. I would have helped Nigel become Prime Minister, but I don't want to be next to Nigel, as I said in my interview in the Mail, if we haven't got a plan, policy, a structure, a shadow cabinet, and we're going to deliver for the people. Because I don't want to raise people's hopes for change and then dash them like Boris did. Boris had an 80-seat majority and he did nothing with it.
You have described in this interview reform as a cult a number of times. They would say, don't be ridiculous. People are democratically electing us, and that's what they did a few Thursdays ago in mayoral elections, local elections, and that by-election in Runcorn.
I think what Nigel is running, and I think the core problem here, is I think Nigel's running a cult. That's what I've concluded, and I think it's the cult of Nigel. And anyone who basically has a different opinion is effectively expunged from being a threat to the cult. So, and there are many cultists who support him, and many people love him. I was very supportive of him, and if anything, I've made a mistake. I think he's done some very good things. I think he's a very good orator. I don't think he's all bad at all. But if you're going to reform a country, you have to have a plan. You have to have policies. You have to have structure. You have to have a shadow cabinet.
And these are some of the things.
Victoria, this is really important. You cannot do it with Nigel Farage, and then he's got a team of what I call very long-term, lightweight sort of servants, which is what you tend to find in a cult, whose idea of policy making is to sort of make it up down in the Marquis of Granby pub while you're having a few pints.